Podgazing.
Hey everyone, what is going on, y'all? This is Star Wars Gazer. Got my first official podcast episode going on right now. Got my boy StarWarsNerd00 on the other side over there. How's it going, Star Wars Nerd?
Hello there. It is pretty exhausting, if I'm not gonna lie, from my end.
Just a long week, or?
Yeah, like I told you before we started this, I'm just getting over a dang stomach virus that's, I guess, been going around, but had to make this video. You know, it's not every day you get to be the first guest on somebody's podcast.
Guess numero uno over here. I love it. I love the shirt, dude. Love it.
Thank you.
Heck yeah.
Check out Rebel Scum Art and Apparel. Use code StarWarsNerd or SNW00 for 15% off your entire order.
There you go, guys. Go get yourself a sweet shirt. They also have subscription tees. So every month they have a new t-shirt that they send you. It's $20 a month. You get a free t-shirt and use that code and you'll get 15% off that as well. Heck yes. I love it. So again, like I said, this is Star Wars Nerd. Star Wars Nerd, just kind of explain a little bit like how you got started, your channel, and kind of, you know, a little bit about you.
So I started watching Star Wars YouTube back when I was like 16, 17, you know, back when the sequels were all coming out. Found Star Wars Theory, and I was tempted to start YouTube, and I've tried it in the past. It never really got anywhere, so I was just like, you know, we'll wait and see. And then I just kept seeing everybody posting lightsaber videos, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. StarWarsNerd00. And then my buddy Jeremy Bloor, which I just did a video with him, started his podcast, and it inspired me to start mine. So
sweet.
We got Tales from Peridia and Star Wars Nerd. But I mainly focus on Star Wars Nerd, you know. Well, it's kind of a mixture of both.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I didn't know that he kind of got you started a little bit, kind of inspired you a little bit. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of inspired by a lot of different people.
Yeah. Same thing with me, man. Like, I never really thought of doing anything. Like, I had like dreams in my head of like, man, it'd be so cool to start a YouTube channel for Star Wars. Like, I'm just such a Star Wars nerd. And then it was probably about a month or two ago, I was watching a bunch of videos from Star Wars Theory. And he was talking about, man, if you want to do it, just go ahead and do it. Get it done, man. Like, just put yourself out there. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I'm doing this. Here we go. Let's do this.
Bro, that is exactly like every YouTuber that I've watched. I was just like trying to get the motivation, and they're all just do it. Just do
it. Yep. You'll never know until you actually do it. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I love it. So yeah, I mean, this conversation for you and I have been kind of in the making for a while. Our schedules just kind of don't line up. I work during the day for the post office. You work at night.
Yep.
So trying to make the clock work just kind of doesn't work sometimes. So, but I'm glad I'm able to get here and do this with you, because this is, like I said, been a long time coming.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I am seriously stoked. So, yeah. I wanted to get you on here because I just kind of wanted to get I just start off with, what are your overall thoughts where Star Wars is at right now? And then from there, we can kind of take it different spots. But where do you think Star Wars is right now, in your opinion?
Star Wars is in a bit of a rough spot, to be honest with you. They are in a spot where they can easily correct their wrongs, but knowing them, they're not going to. And they're just probably going to continue to do one good project out of like every 5 that they release. But I don't know. As for future Star Wars, I'm indifferent about it. As for the, you know, Clone Wars, the 03 series, or the 2008 or the original 6 movies, absolute perfect timelessness. Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a rough, sticky situation, if I'm gonna be
Yeah.
real with you.
Yeah, I agree. It's unfortunate too, like, because I think something you said in there that's really key is that I think they know how to fix it, and I think they know they can fix it. I think they choose not to fix it. I
Yep.
don't know why that is. Like, why would you want to piss off the main majority of the fan base? Like, I don't understand the reasoning behind that.
Yeah, that I wish I could explain it because I don't even fully understand it.
Yeah. I mean, I was even so like today, for those of you who don't know, over the course of the last like probably 3 weeks or so, I've been listening to all of the Heir to the Empire books on Audible. By the way, if you have Audible now and listen to those are flipping amazing. Like unreal good writing. But I'm sitting there listening to it and I finished the third book today and I'm like, why don't they take these and use these? Like the writing is so good. Like sure, you don't have to go like exact everything, but like if you would, there's so many books that you could adapt and have so many fans that are like, oh my god, that's the best thing I've ever seen. Then money would start flowing. I just don't understand. I don't get it.
Yeah, that I don't know because, like you said, I was listening to Heir to the Empire like 3 months ago, just like the first book,
Yeah.
and there were multiple times I would literally pause it and be like, "Why are we not doing this? Why are we not using this? Why are we not doing elements like this?"
Right.
But I guess they're trying, and it is cool that they do use certain elements from Legends, but I just wish that they would actually like adapt some of the books.
Yeah. I agree. And it doesn't help too that they change. I mean, they changed the characters. I mean, let's go back all the way back when this thing first really got off the rails with The Last Jedi, right? Like you have a Luke Skywalker who, and I know this has been talked a lot by Sam Witwer, but he talks about how he's willing to look a guy who's like, no, I'm dark side, right? I'm evil, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. And Luke's like, are you sure about that? Right? And like ends up turning this Darth Vader to the good side, right? And he kind of does the same thing in the Heir to the Empire books with Lord Sabaoth, right? He even in the midst of how crazy Lord Sabaoth is, he's still trying to turn Sabaoth back to the light side. And I'm like, at this point, like for me, I would have been like, dude, you're done. I'm chopping your head off. This is it, Like, but he's still trying to. That guy does not, like Sam Witwer says all the time, and I've heard it talked about on other podcasts. Like that guy, not for a split second does he think about killing his nephew because he had a bad dream about him.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. He may have had the thought, but him acting on it is completely different.
Right.
Whether or not Ben's POV was true or Luke's POV was true, sure. Everybody has bad thoughts now and then, but
Right.
it depends on whether you act on them.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, and I don't think Luke would have acted on him, And you have
No.
this scene that was so disappointing because it was like, again, an Heir to the Empire, Luke is reunited with his saber that he got cut off in Bespin because of a clone of him that Lord Sabaoth like creates and makes Luke fight against Luke, right? And he's got the lightsaber, right? And then in The Last Jedi, you have Rey reaching out the lightsaber, right? And the movie ends in The Force Awakens like that, and you're like, okay, this is gonna be cool. Like, and then we get to The Last Jedi, and she's standing there holding the lightsaber, and you're like, oh man, last time he saw that was Bespin Cloud City, baby. Like, this is gonna be cool. He takes it, he looks at it, and goes over his shoulder, and I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm done. This movie's going to be absolute garbage from here on out. I just know it.
Yeah. I remember watching The Last Jedi in theaters, and about 2/3 of the way through, my buddy that I went with actually walked out of the theater.
Wow.
And I kind of wish that I had followed him because, yeah.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, they continued legacy. That's what you want to call it. And continued on with shows like, we just had The Acolyte. Like, I mean, what are we doing with our lives? Like, come on. There's so much lore breaking in there. I mean, you watched The Acolyte. I know at the beginning you were super excited for it when it first was kind of announced. Like, what was kind of your journey through The Acolyte?
So, I guess the show was announced in like 2000 or 2020 or whatever, but I wasn't really following Star Wars and the shows and all that stuff. So when I first saw the trailer for it, dude, I was so excited. And then they copied Anakin's birth, and then they turned episode 7 of the show into a watered down Phantom Menace. And then I was just disappointed by the end, like I started out super excited, and then it just gradually went down.
Yeah. And I think it was just the same for me, man. Like, it first came out, and I'm also, I'm always hesitant anything Disney comes out with Star Wars wise, but I was like,
yeah,
I'm willing to give these shows a shot. Like, I'm not just gonna throw the baby out with the bathwater here. I'm gonna at least do my due diligence and watch it. And I couldn't believe it. Like you said, the birth thing with Anakin. Okay, there's only one person who was ever created through the Force, and he's the chosen one. That is Mr. Anakin Skywalker, right? Who proved to be the chosen one even at the end of his life. Like, that's the only one. And then they had, Kiadi Mundi in that show. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, dude, this dude just got done saying in the Phantom Menace, the Sith have been extinct for a millennium. And here he is watching all of these Jedi getting killed by the Sith. Like, whether he saw it or not, the Jedi aren't coming back.
Yeah.
Somebody's killing these guys, right? Like, you'd naturally assume, well, it's got to be. I mean, there's no other like, I just didn't get it, man. There's just so much stuff in there that I was just like, this is, and I got to be honest, that floppy lightsaber thing was not doing it for me. Yes, that was not doing it for me. I was like, what is this?
See, I feel like they could have done it right, but just like a lot of other things in the show, they just didn't. They didn't even try. I mean, we saw like one scene of it.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I know they're a thing in Legends books and comics. Like, why'd you only show one scene?
Yeah. And maybe that's it. Maybe that they just didn't do it correctly. They just kind of seemed, I don't know, lame. Like, I get the kind of idea they're going for with like the not the Maul, but like, what I'm talking about. Like in Lord of the Rings, the Wraith, he's got those swing, and I was like, ooh, something like that would be cool. But the way they did it was like, what are we going for here, guys? Can we make up our mind?
Bro, I don't know. And not even just that, like, fucking the speeders that Soul and Torben were riding, like,
yep.
Why did it look like a PS1 graphic?
I know. It's like, you're so much better than this. Come on. It kind of reminded me, I'm not gonna lie, a little bit of that Boba Fett chase. That, the speeder chase. I was like, oh Lord. Like, this is so bad.
See, the only thing of Boba Fett that I saw was the episodes with Luke that kind of tied into season 3, because I was so confused of why Grogu was back.
Gotcha. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole nother topic entirely. I think, my favorite Jedi is Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I know you and Darth Christensen are doing, kind of a video about Obi-Wan Kenobi, but he's always been my favorite. And whether he's the most skilled, like, I don't think he is, but I don't know. I've always liked Obi-Wan. But I think for character, one of my favorites is Boba Fett. I love me some Boba Fett. And I was super excited when they announced that show. And I was like, dude, this is going to be the bomb.com. Like, this is going to be sweet. And then they made Boba Fett out, in my opinion, to be kind of a pansy, just to be honest. Like Boba Fett's
Yeah.
supposed to be a badass, my way or the highway kind of guy. Like I take no prisoners. Like you are gonna do things my way. But he came into
And
that show like, let's all hold hands and get along. And I'm like, no.
bro, not even that. I saw the first episode and I was texting Darth Christensen, dude, why is Boba Fett getting his ass whooped 4 times within the first 20 minutes of this 40-minute episode? Like,
Yeah.
what is going on here?
Yep, I know. I know. I was like, this is crazy. I will say the one thing that was really cool was to see Black Chrysanthemum in it. The Black Wookiees and the kind of the legends, and he's actually fought Obi-Wan on Tatooine before. That was cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, you didn't know that, did you?
No.
Yeah, there's actually a scene that's kind of creepy. Boba Fett, he's laying down in like a back-to-tank thing, and he's laying there, and he hears something, and he opens his eyes, and Black Chrysanthemum is right there, and he's like, "Roar!" like that, and you're like,
Bro.
I was like, I almost peed my pants. That was pretty good, but yeah. But I mean, there were some good parts about it, good things about it I thought were cool. Like, but the overall, like, you know, especially if you read a book like Bloodlines, right? Boba Fett book, like it's just you're like, this isn't Boba Fett. This isn't him. So
yeah, I was very disappointed with that show.
Yeah. Yeah. For the most part, I was. Like I said, there were some good things, but there were some also things that I was like, again, Disney, like sometimes they get really close and they're like, hey, let's not fix it. And it's like, fix it. Oh,
or they just throw something completely out of left field.
Yeah, 100%. And that's kind of what they did with, again, like another show they did that with was the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. I don't know if you've been able to watch all of the interview that Star Wars Theory did with Stuart Beattie, the original writer. Dude, like I wanted to rage and cry at the same time when I watched that. Because I'm sitting there listening to this guy's script and I'm like, oh my word, Disney, like you literally had it on a platter. If you didn't want to use Legends, fine. But you had a guy who's a true Star Wars fan who wants to like see a Star Wars show do well, and it wasn't even going to be a show. It was going to be a trilogy movie. It would have been so cool. He's like, I mean, part of the gist was like, okay, we have Obi-Wan at the end of Revenge of the Sith, right? And then you have Obi-Wan and A New Hope, Ben Kenobi. There's a story there to be told, right? How does he go from Obi-Wan to Ben? And one of the things that he was thinking was like, okay, at the end of Revenge of the Sith, what is the main feeling of Obi-Wan? He goes, I thought it would have been guilt. I just unleashed this hell on the whole entire universe. It's my fault. I'm supposed to train him. I let everyone down. This is my fault. So he starts putting that guilt on Luke, even as a baby, wanting to train him, right? But he's like, you see this progression through this whole thing. And he goes, I told Disney, like, they were like, no way does Darth Vader and Obi-Wan meet again. He's like, they have to. At the end of the Revenge of the Sith, the last thing he said was, you're my brother, Anakin. I loved you, right? He goes, in Return of the Jedi, when Luke and Vader are talking, right before Vader brings him to the Emperor, Vader says, Obi-Wan once thought as you do, when Luke is trying to bring him back to the light side. How does that happen? Where does that happen? Didn't happen at the end of Revenge of the Sith, I'll tell you that. Yeah,
see, that's one of the arguments that I have with Darth Christensen all the time, is because I know in the Kenobi show, yes, they did somewhat address it, even in the Disney version of the script. But I still just feel like in Return of the Jedi, he should have said, your mother once thought as you do. You know, it just, because in all reality, who is the last person to say that? To say that he has good in him? Padme. Her deathbed.
There's still good in you. Come back, right? All I want is your love, is what she says, right? Like, that's all she wanted.
But I do got to give credit because, you know, Obi-Wan does apologize to him for everything. So,
yes, that was, I will say, that was such a heart-wrenching scene. You know, that fight in general was awesome. It was cool to see those two back at it again.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But at the end there, when he sees Anakin's face through the mask and he starts just crying, And he's like, I'm sorry for it all, Anakin. Like, I'm sorry for everything. Like, I was like,
Yeah, it took me a while to get into the Kenobi show, but I found myself thoroughly enjoying like the last bit of episode 6.
yeah, yep.
It,
I did. Go
what
ahead.
was that?
No, after you, dude.
Oh, dude, I just gotta say, episode 3 of Kenobi, where you see Vader fucking snap that kid's neck.
Yeah,
Dude, I was completely blown away. I didn't think Disney was gonna go that far.
neither did I. I was sitting there watching. He's like dragging the thing. He just goes, and I'm like, what did I just watch?
Bro, I rewound it like 5 times.
I know. Did I really? Doth mine eyes deceive me? Oh man, I did like too that part where Obi-Wan's trying to leave that little shipyard, and the ship starts going up, and Vader grabs it out of the air and pulls it back down. Something out of like Force Unleashed, Star Killer. I was like, yeah! Oh man, there are some parts in there that were really well done. I really liked it. So,
oh yeah, I didn't like it at first, but looking back on it, it's pretty good show. It's decent.
It's decent for Disney standards, which I guess in retrospect isn't saying much, but I mean, it is what it is.
They hit.
They did. And speaking of Kenobi, I don't know if you saw the video I posted a couple days ago now that Ewan McGregor is actually talking to Disney right now about either doing Obi-Wan season 2, or they've actually pitched the idea of doing a live action Clone Wars.
Yeah, see, as much as I love Ewan and all that, I feel like they kind of nailed the Clone Wars with the cartoon. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to see Hayden and Ewan in the Clone Wars armor. I don't think they need to do a series. I think it should be a movie if they're going to do it. Kind of like combine a few different arcs that they didn't really get to do before Disney bought them.
Yeah.
But as for a season 2 of Kenobi, I really don't know if we really need one.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm not for a season 2 of Kenobi. I will say, like, I think with you, multiple seasons of a Clone Wars, I think would be a bit much. I would like to see like a limited series, or like your suggestion of a movie would be good, because there's so many things you can do with that. Like, you can not only bring back like Ewan and Hayden, but you can also bring back, I know Samuel L. Jackson has said he would love to reprise his role as Mace Windu. That would be a perfect opportunity for him to do that. I mean, you could bring back Yoda. There's so many things that you could do with, with a Clone Wars like limited series or something, I think.
Easily.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it would be sweet to see. So sorry, I had to mess with my cord was getting all tangled up behind me, and it was weird. I don't know what's going on over there. So yeah, I don't know. It's unfortunate where Disney is right now, like, I don't know. I remember back in the day, even the toys, I don't know, even the toys that Star Wars sold seemed a lot better. Like, I remember as a kid, like, even now, like, I have 6 kids, and going through the toy aisle now, like, I look at all the Star Wars stuff, Legos and what have you, and I'm going through there and I'm like, man, it's just that, like, it just doesn't ring as true as it did when I was a kid. Like, I feel like the toys even were so much better growing up.
Oh, dude. Not even just Star Wars toys in general. When back in, well, I kind of forgot how old you are, but I'm 24 now. So like toys back in like 2005, 2006, they're so much better than the stuff they got out nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll be 30 at the end of the year. So for me, it's like 99, 2000, is when I really started getting into that stuff. And it was just like, man, like, it just, not just the quality, it's just like the type of toy. It doesn't seem as exciting.
Yeah.
Not to mention the price of things nowadays, it's kind of unfortunate. So, I did want to ask you, so recently you actually went to Comic-Con down in, was it Tampa?
Ocala.
Okay, that's right. Oh, that's right. Ocala, duh. That's where my grandma is. I forgot we had this whole conversation. Yeah. Ocala, that's right. And so you went down there and you got to actually see Siths, didn't you? Star Wars Sith down there and everything? Yeah. Tell us about your experience down there, how you plan that, all that. Tell us the whole thing, man. I'd love to hear.
So basically, I was listening to Tony live stream while I was at work one night, and somebody asked him what his next convention he was going to be. And he said Ocala Comic Con and that Shin Hati was going to be there. So what did I do? I went, told my coworker, hey, I'll be right back. I went, moved money on my account at the ATM at my job, bought my tickets, and just went down there. And it was so fun. Like, Tony was pretty much like Gandalf from Lord of the Rings, like not from Lord of the Rings, but like the Hobbit. You know how he would guide the dwarves and Bilbo to where they needed to go, and then next thing you know, he's like, all right, well, I got to go do this. I got other shit to do.
They turn around and he's gone.
That was pretty much Tony. He would guide me. He'd guide me to the fun stuff, and then I'd just have my own adventure.
That's awesome. And then after you're done, were you like, Tony?
After I got my autograph from Shin, I went and looked around for like 20 minutes to try to find him, to catch up with them, say bye, and all that good shit. Couldn't find him, so pretty much after I got my my autograph, I just left the convention.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I know you're usually not much of a big crowd person, right?
Yeah, that was pretty tough. I'm not gonna lie, but there was some pretty cool people in the crowd. So
that's cool. How was your meeting with Miss Shin?
Oh, dude, she is so fucking nice. I mean, I asked her a pretty decent question about Balin and why he hates Anakin. And when I went to go to take my photo with her after her panel, typically it's you go in, take your picture, go about your day. Well, she was talking to me about the question, and the workers were having to kind of like rush me out.
That's hilarious.
And then I finally get to the front of the line for the autographs, and she leans over to her entire team and just goes, this guy asked a really cool question about Balin. Like, I wish I could have answered it, but I really don't know how to answer it. So I'm pretty much best friends with Ivana Sakno.
All right. I like it. Yeah. We'll have to get her on the podcast next.
Shoot, I tried. As soon as I said pod, her team was like, nope, she's busy.
That's what you were saying. You're like, can I pod? Nope. I was like, can I at least finish the sentence? Oh, man. That's funny. I wish they would at least let you talk. Some of those guys seem super rude sometimes.
Oh, dude, she was having full-blown conversations with people.
And that's the way it should be.
Not gonna lie. It was cool, and it's nice that she does that. But at the same time, like, everybody in the line was like, man, they need to hurry up. Like, I want to have a conversation with her. Hurry up.
Come on, man. Would you shut up? Yeah. No, that's cool. I did see her her panel that Tony posted. And when she was asked what her favorite movie was, like, it was cool to see her actually take her time and think about it. And she's like, Empire. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Well, Empire is the best movie ever made, period. So
it is. It really is. It was so Irvin Kershner did such a good job with that movie. Oh, I love that movie from top to bottom, man. It's so good. Just to see the enraged Darth Vader. You know?
Oh yeah,
it was so good. Well, that's cool. Did you get anything cool from Tony or from the Comic-Con?
I didn't really buy anything at the con. There wasn't really anything that like caught my eye like that. They had a bunch of cool shit, but I got two Black Series figures from Tony. I got Hunter and Wrecker from the Bad Batch. I got Kid Anakin from the Phantom Menace. He's in his Jedi robes.
Oh, that's sick.
With the little training probe droid thing.
Oh, sweet.
What else did I get from Tony? He threw in a carry bag. Everything is kind of over there. I just don't feel like going to get it.
No, you're good. You don't have to. It's all good. I'm just curious.
And then I got he threw in a signed Jawa card from the Book of Boba Fett. And then I bought a Ivana Sakno plaque from him to get signed.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. He did the same thing for me. So that I don't know if you can see that red Sith Trooper helmet back here behind me here.
It might be blocked by your this is Podgazing, but I could somewhat see it.
Is it blocked a little bit? Sorry. There's just like a Sith Trooper helmet behind me here. But yeah, he kind of did the same thing for me. He threw in like a signed little Jawa card. It was really cool.
That's the exact one I got.
So I keep it up here. I keep it up here against my lightsaber hilt from Theory Saber. So
heck yeah, man.
Heck yeah. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So is there anything Star Wars related that you're excited about coming out? Anything that kind of catches your eye?
I guess Skeleton Crew looks fun. I'm not really looking forward to it, but I'm not like against it. Like it doesn't really have the potential to really mess anything up lore wise. It's just pretty much is this going to be a fun turn your brain off, or is it going to be boring?
Right, exactly. Yeah, I have a feeling. I don't know. Looking at the trailers, I'm still going to watch it, obviously. Which, by the way, guys, I am going to be doing a live stream. I might even have Mr. Star Wars Nerd here on a time or 2 or 3 or 4. You never know. But I think the one thing I'm excited for is next year's the Ahsoka season 2, and I know
I am looking forward to that.
I'm interested to see who plays Baylan Skoll now, because man, rest in peace.
Do you think they're going to recast him, or do you think that they're going to eventually write him out of the story towards the end?
I think they're going to recast him. I've seen some things online, and obviously you don't know how true they are. I've seen some things though that they have like 3 or 4 people that are auditioning for the role. So
yeah.
So I don't know. It's a double-edged sword, right? Because Baylan Skoll was such a cool character. I actually really enjoyed him and
yeah, man.
Hati. But it would also be hard to try and, I think, fill the shoes. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do there. I hope they bring back, there's a lot they could do. Like I think we've talked about it on the side, is like, you have the father, the son, and the daughter, and being able to bring back Hayden again, like I was talking in my video, about like my favorite movies, and also like this Obi-Wan show. Like, it's one thing, like James Earl Jones passing away, don't get me wrong, that is super sad, and like his voice is so iconic. But the bright side is, he signed over the rights. He's a voice actor, right? So we will have his voice for
forever.
Yeah. Whereas, you have Ewan and Hayden and, Rosario and some of these other guys that, like, not that they're going to die tomorrow, but because they physically play that character, you can only use them for so long before you can't anymore. And so, like, I'm of the stance, like, if they want to be in Star Wars, like Ewan clearly does, I think, like, let's use them, man. Like,
I don't see what Disney's problem is, why they just won't reuse them. I mean, even Natalie Portman said that she's willing to come back.
Right? Yeah. I would love to see a story like, was it like the Star Wars? There was like a VR game that they had, and I've seen
Vader Immortal.
Yeah.
Where,
like, he tries to revive her. And I'm like, that would be such a sweet arc, man. Like,
that would break my heart, to be honest with you, witnessing that.
It would, but at the same time, it'd be so good. So good. And you bring back Hayden, and he does, like, I would love to see, because of that video where he, like, Vader goes up to the grave, right? And he, like, brushes the leaves away or whatever. And then he takes his helmet off. Like, it'd be sweet to see Hayden under that, like, take his helmet off. And he's like, sitting, you know what I mean? Like,
that made me start crying on camera, man.
Yeah, I mean, man, it'd be so cool to see that. So cool. I would love to see them too do like a maybe like a limited series, like Palpatine show.
Yeah.
You could have I think his name is Matt Smith. I think he was actually in talks before to play like a young Palpatine. I don't know if you've ever seen a picture of him.
Yeah, I know who Matt Smith is.
I think he would play a really good young Palpatine.
Heck yeah.
I think it'd be cool to see like a limited series of something like that, but Okay, here's a question for you. You have the reins at Disney. They say, whatever you want to make, Star Wars nerd, whatever you want to see, we're gonna make it happen. What are you putting out there?
Oh, shit. Honestly, I want to see the gaps filled between episodes 1 and 2 of the prequels. I want to see Anakin's training. I want
That
to
would be
see
cool.
Anakin from the end of the Phantom Menace to the start of Attack of the Clones. I need to see that filled in.
That would be cool. That would be really cool. Yeah. Wow. I didn't even think of that. Like, that is not, I didn't think, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we got the Clone Wars to fill in the gaps between 2 and 3. Why can't we see what happened between 1 and 2?
Right. That's true. You're not wrong.
There's a lot of shit that happened.
There
I
is.
mean, the business on Cato Nemodia that apparently doesn't count. That happened in between 1 and 2. Freaking the Nest of Gundarks.
Yep. That's hilarious. There is so much.
Anakin wanting to leave the Jedi Order at 12 years old. Like, what caused that? Let's see the gaps.
Right. Yeah, let's see what made Anakin. More of what made Anakin. Yeah. I was just watching the other day. I was kind of reminiscing about Attack of the Clones, and I watched that scene where he slaughters all the sand people. And he just, like, his mom dies, and he just, like, and you can see the rage filling his eyes. And
yeah, man.
And the music in that is so good. I'm a big music guy. I love a good soundtrack with movies. Obviously, I think it, like, really helps perpetuate the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I talked about that in one of my earlier videos. Like, that's something that's also missing from Star Wars is you have the original 6 all have at least one song in there that's like, this is iconic, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
The Duel of the Fates. You have Anakin versus Obi-Wan. You have all these, like, just, this is, you hear it and you're like, oh, I know what movie that is. Like, Star Wars doesn't have that nowadays. Sorry, Star Wars doesn't have that nowadays. They don't have like a song that.
Come to think of it, the Acolyte didn't even play the Force theme once.
Nope.
Not once.
No, not once. And you don't have to have a John Williams do it. Like, that Samuel Kim that's been coming out with that Star Wars, the epic Star Wars. Dude, he is phenomenal. I love his stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So good. So good.
Dude, I'm constantly playing his stuff in the original soundtracks.
Yep. Same here. I actually played it so I have 2 sons, 3, but my 2 oldest ones are 8 and 7, and they love Star Wars. I'm training them right. training them right. And they hopped in the car. I picked them up from school, and I was like, you guys want to hear a sweet, sweet Star Wars music? And they're like, yeah, Dad, play it. So I played them the epic main theme that he has.
Dude, I'm always listening to that.
They're like, this is so cool, Dad. I'm like, I know. Yeah.
God, I just love anything about Star Wars, man.
Same. So we were talking about this before the podcast started, about maybe some people might not recognize it until you say something, but talk about your hat a little bit.
So, ignore their stupid hair. This nice Jedi hat from the Force. I can't really see if I'm showing it. God bless. The Force Awakens Daily on Instagram. I think they're still selling it, but this is pretty much the same hat that Mr. George Lucas was wearing in the iconic picture with Liam Neeson in the rainbow or the umbrella hat.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, Tony. I'm sorry, the Ray side. I'm sorry, Beyond the Dune Sea. It's my favorite hat. It's replaced. It's replaced all my hats.
That's hilarious. I love it. Dude, George Lucas is such a boss. I just saw that. We were talking about this too, that video where he's got like in the Phantom Menace, when he's got the shirt that's got like the review, the horrible review about Star Wars on it, and he's wearing it while he's directing. I'm like, that's such a boss move.
Man's just such a legend.
He is. I wish he would. I know there's been like inklings and like rumorvilles of it, but like I would man, I would love to see George Lucas buy it back. Whether he actually
Yeah.
directs or anything, I don't care. Like, if he bought Star Wars back and like set up the people he wants to run it, and like, hey, like, you know my vision, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. I would say even put Sam Witwer in charge.
Oh
That
yeah.
dude is a lore machine. Like, just let those guys handle it, you know? And I think we would forever have great Star Wars.
Oh, easily. But will that happen? Probably not.
Probably not. But a guy can dream.
I mean, Kathleen Kennedy did say she will retire when she gets a box office hit. So if we all band together and we make Mando and Grogu the #1 grossing movie worldwide.
I like that idea, guys. Did you hear that? We need to band together and go see it 2 or 3 times. Even if it's horrible, I don't care. Go see it 2 or 3 times. Let's get her out of there.
Ooh, sorry about all the alarms.
You're good. You're good.
Typically, I'm sleeping at this point.
I know I woke him up early. It was funny when we were doing, again, the whole clock thing. When we were doing this, trying to set up this time, I told him, I'm like, hey, let's do 8 o'clock. He's like, perfect. I don't get started getting work till 9 o'clock. And I was like, nailed it. And it was like 6:40 my time. And he's like, he texts me. We're an hour difference. He's an hour ahead. And I was like, he texted me at like 6:40 my time. And he's like, dude, I'm almost ready. And I'm like, bro, we have another hour before we start. And then I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm like, wait a minute. He's an hour ahead. I got 20 minutes. I'm the one that's behind here.
Yeah, man, these time zones, they kind of kill me. I got some people that are in my time zone, some that are an hour behind, some that are 3 hours, and then you got, you know, Commander Jesse and Blore on Mandalore that are 13 and 15 hours ahead. It's like, good Lord.
So where does Commander Jesse, where is he from?
Commander Jesse and Blore on Mandalore are both in Australia.
Oh, dang. That had to be fun to try and set up. Woo.
Yeah, the first video I ever did with Commander Jesse, I had to film it pretty much immediately after getting out of work. And I get out of work at like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Ooh.
And the Darth Plagueis live stream we did, that took like 3 weeks of planning a time.
Wow, that is wild.
Yeah, so it was 7 in the evening for us, but it was like 8 in the morning for him.
That's crazy. Dude, like I can't even think of that time. I'm already kind of stressing. So for those of you who don't, I don't know if you guys, have you heard of Bryant Collectibles on Instagram?
I think so. I've probably come across this page.
I've been following him for a little bit, and he's going to be doing an episode, the next episode of Podgazing with me.
Oh,
but he's out in California, so he's that 2 hours behind me. And so, like, I was like, okay, how can I plan this? Right, exactly. Yeah, I know. I gotta. Hey, we're doing this at 8:30. I thought you meant 8:30 my time, dude. My bad. Oh man. No, but I appreciate you being on here. Give us, if you can, give us a little sneak peek into your episode coming out with.
So, I've got a video coming out Saturday with Jeremy Blore from Blore on Mandalore. We sat down and we discussed Disney sequels, and I kind of did a little interview with him. Then, of course, got this. I am filming a video with one of my buddies that I run on Tails, where we're going to be kind of arguing about Kenobi. Ooh. And then after that, I'm going to be kind of taking a little hiatus to work on a couple movie reviews and a Star Wars fan fiction that I've been working on for the past like year and a half.
Man, you got a lot of stuff coming down the pike.
Got to, man. Got to grind.
Got to grind. Got to hit that grind. Absolutely. Got to get that. Yep. Man. Again, I appreciate you being on here. Again, first ever episode, first ever guest, Mr. Star Wars Nerd. Woo, woo, woo. Lots of fun. You never know what you're going to get until you do it, right?
Exactly.
You know, like we're talking about at the beginning, like you just don't know until you just do it. So make like Nike and just do it.
I mean, I originally started the Star Wars Nerd channel to just talk about lightsabers, and now I'm doing news, lore, freaking stories, freaking got a whole podcast channel.
Yep, I know, this is crazy. Like I said, I got guys that are working behind the scenes for me for my podcast logo. I just put up my new official Star Wars Gazer logo.
And it looks amazing.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. He put some time into it. This dude is like, he's good at what he does. It's kind of crazy. He showed me last night. It's funny. He'd been working on it for about a week, and I was like, "Hey, you care if we meet up tonight? And we can. I don't know if you have anything, to show me as far as the logo." He goes, "Actually, I just finished it. I'll show you. I'll show you tonight." And I was like,
Dude,
"All
awesome.
right." So we went. Our tradition anytime we meet up is we usually get food. We bond over food, and like any guy does. And so we went and got some food, and he's like, "All right, you ready to see it?" And I'm like, "Let's do this." And that's what he ended up showing me was my podcast. I'll pull it up here real quick. See if I can pull it up. Can I? Yeah, there we go. There it is for those of you who want to see it. So that's my new Star Wars Gazer logo, official. This one is going to be my podcasting logo here. Still doing a little fine tuning on it, but that's the gist.
It looks great, man.
Yeah, I'm blessed to have some amazing artists in my life. I have trouble drawing stick figures here, so I can't even get a straight line. It's like anytime I try to draw it. So I don't know. I think it's fun. It's fun to be able to watch those guys draw and do their thing because man,
Oh yeah,
they're so good. So, but yeah, I got him. He's going to be doing some. I will be coming out with also some merch. I'm working on getting some merch out now that I have these logos and stuff. So, and again, my artist that did my main logo, he's going to be doing some draw ups for different T-shirts and different things. So,
heck yeah, man!
I'm excited.
Look forward to it.
Heck yeah, I am too. You should. We got a Planet Comic Con up here in Kansas City. You should come up.
Oh, dude, I'm down.
Just guys and people I know together, we can all go in, pitch in on a hotel and stuff, and
hell yeah, man.
Comic-Con. So I have yet to be.
They are addicting, I'm not gonna lie.
Because was the Ocala one was your first, right?
Yeah,
man.
And I'm super glad that I went because now I'm going to MegaCon in February.
That's crazy, man. It was just, which I had to tell my wife that because I was like, I have an addictive personality. When I find something I like, I'm like all in, like head first. So man, if I get there and I'm like, this is like the best thing since sliced bread, it's Jover. It's just Jover. It's over.
Oh.
So, but I know you kind of probably pressed for time a little bit here, getting ready for work, but
unfortunately.
I appreciate you being on here again. StarWarsNerd00. He's got a second channel, Tales from Peridia. I'm Star Wars Gazer. Obviously, my podcast is Podgazing. If you want to go on to Rebel Scum Art and Apparel, you can use code SNW00, right?
SWN00, yes, sir.
SWN00. Okay. Get 15% off your entire order. You can also use code Star Wars Gazer, same thing, 15% off your entire order. Go get yourself some merch from them. They're awesome. They also have like rugs and tapestries and a load of stuff. It's crazy the stuff that they have on there. So go check them out. You guys want a good saber, go check out Theory Saber. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but dude, their quality is for me is unmatched. I don't know. There's something about their lightsaber that just, even like the cheapest one I got was it was phenomenal. So I'm super excited about that. But yeah, guys, go check out Star Wars Nerd. As always, subscribe, like. Same thing with my channel. Subscribe, like. If there's anything you guys want to see us do, comment, let us know. We're always open to suggestions. So, Star Wars Nerd, I appreciate it. I appreciate you being on.
Thank you for having me on, good buddy.
Absolutely. And may the Force be with you, sir.
May the Force be with you all. Peace.